we're starting today's business and markets across Frontier Africa. This we're here on Frontier Opening Bell. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. This is Getting the Curtain Raiser Up. Just a quick rundown through the markets for Wednesday. The Nigerian stock market continued its soft decline. We lost roughly 200 billion naira in local currency since the start of the week. Investors were negative on equities. They were binging on yield across the fixed income. Nigeria's Eurobond down for 2 straight days on the news of whether President Tinubu will reverse the popular and welcomed fuel subsidy, but the impact on Nigerians with higher fuel prices remain a major concern. So the stock market pulled back below by 0.5%. The index finished around 64,000 on Wednesday. The BRVM was better by 0.39%. However, in West Africa, the Egyptian stock market finished Wednesday 0.5% in the north, but a very choppy, very sharp decline for the Nairobi stock market, down 2.68%, and the Johannesburg stock market down by about 0.9%, below the 75,000 reading. The Zimbabwe stock market came back after the Armed Forces day holiday, and that the market was slightly on the upside, just about 0.1%, very small patch to creep into the new week, which is ending tomorrow, Friday. So let's take that straight to the East African market with President Ruto looking for funds left, right, and center, and the whole issue around the VAT and whether the subsidy, return to subsidy should be called stabilization. News media reported this morning that President William Ruto was upset with some media outlets for referring to what the administration is running a stabilization fund as a subsidy. Kenya, however, is reporting a debt at about a record 1.56 trillion for the full year ended June 2023, while Treasury in Kenya has settled about 12.3 billion Kenya Airways debt. That's some relief for the debt-ridden iconic airline that Kenya Airways is. Airtel in Kenya has raised its mobile money limit to 500,000 shillings after Safaricom made a similar move earlier in the week on approval from the regulatory authorities. And Tanzania says it has a team currently in China to look at concessional loans from the Chinese authorities to build roads and rails, and that's under President Suluhu Hassan. Keep those headlines in mind as to get into the rest of the day. Let's check with West Africa. Of course, Nigeria is making the headlines when it comes to the whole battling of saving the Naira with a $3 billion signed yesterday in Cairo, Egypt, between NNPC, which is the state-owned oil company, and Afreximbank. It's the third of such deals signed by NNPC with Afreximbank. The first was $1.8 billion back in November of 2021. Then another $5 billion was signed in January last year under President Buhari's administration. This third $3 billion relates to shoring up the Naira. It's a cool swap arrangement. That's the way the NNPC or Nigeria effectively will repay that loan to Afreximbank, is to help stabilize the Naira, which will be released in tranches from Afreximbank to the Central Bank of Nigeria to mitigate the impact of the unified exchange rate and keep the Naira from going down the drain, in the manner of speaking. So we've seen the Naira recover at about 2%, the investors and exporters window on Wednesday on the news of that coming through, the interventions by the central bank that will be going in. But the Nigerian government says there's no return to fuel subsidy payments. Late in the evening, President Tinubu announced his new cabinet about 10 weeks, I beg your pardon, into his tenure, which started on May the 29th. So while he had a former investment banker, chartered stockbroker, and economist will be in charge of the finance ministry. I will be the coordinator of the economy. It's a title brought back from the Jonathan's administration when Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala of the WTO was the Nigeria's finance minister. This is a new development. We have a whole lot the cabinet names making the headlines this morning. The Gambia, it says his top officials as well as the Gambia Revenue Authority executives are currently in the United States to look at what you call comparative tax policy meeting between the U.S. officials and get back to Gambia to see how the new horizon in terms of tax reform will be for this tourism-rich West African country. And MTN in Cameroon says it's posted 156 billion CFA franc in turnover in the first half of the year, while Togo has suspended all commercial transactions with Niger Republic as part of the sanctions that ECOWAS is bringing upon the military junta in Niamey. And Gabon, this is back to EITI, that's the Extractive Industry Transparency International, after a 10-year suspension. And that's good news for Gabon after securing $500 million in nature for in a swap for nature as far as the clean energy is concerned, which was the first of its kind on the African continent. That news came this week. Good news there for Gabon. Let's step into Southern Africa. The electricity minister was on Bloomberg this morning speaking to the next steps for the South Africa's problematic power sector and corruption all around Eskom and what the new horizon will be. In the meantime, the preparations for the BRICS summit starting August the 22nd is at pace. So the BRIC Bank has issued 2 tenored first South African rand bonds that came in on Monday. The IMF is hoping that South Africa would recover and that would likely bring its GDP to about 1.4% in 2024. And Zimplat's mining volumes surged 4% in second quarter. That's reporting on the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange. While Lesotho's central bank is looking to raise its net international reserves target from about $690 million to about 820 million American currency. The Bank of Namibia also held repo rates at 7.75% and trying to continue to track the rate of the Namibian dollar to the American dollar. And again, keep an eye on inflation. Those announcements came from Namibia on Tuesday. So let's see what's in Egypt with the President Al-Sisi facing economy, facing a currency. But Morocco is raising fuel prices for the 4th time in less than 1 month. And the sugar is to start trading on Egyptian Commodities Exchange on Thursday, and that is today, the 17th of August. The Egyptian Commodities Exchange is onboarding more agro products onto the exchange, by the way. And the Tunis stock market first half says its listed companies posted about 7.9% growth in overall income for the period under review, while Unima Group of Morocco reports in first half of the year, January to June turnover, consolidated turnover up by about 8%. You got quite a bit more earnings coming through from across a number of markets on the African continent. And that's your Frontier Opening Bell. I am Bosun Omofaye. You can watch this show again on our YouTube as well as on our website. See you soon and bye for now. Have a great day.